In 3, 2, 1, and we're live. What's going on, everybody? We are in the correct time zone today. You're here with Solember and Coders178.
Howdy. Decided to switch it up that time.
And I've never met this man before in my life. I'm sorry, that was a lie. So today we're going to be talking about how to make a quality cake. I'm sorry, that was a lie too. Today we're talking about lying and cheating. Not necessarily cheating in the "oh my gosh, my boy's cheating on me" sense.
Mm-hmm.
More so in the that's against the rules kind of sense. So let's talk about it. As always, what do you feel a lie is, Coders? How are we defining lie today?
Not the truth. Final answer.
I can dig it. I can dig it so hard.
I think.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, though. Lying is doing anything at all besides telling the truth.
Yep.
Like, if you're given an opportunity to tell the truth and you choose not to, that's a lie.
Right.
If you're
doing it to preserve someone's feelings, that's still a lie.
If you're trying to figure out what the actual way to say is, "I want to lay down," that's a lie. And now y'all will remember that for the rest of your life. The proper way to do it is lie, not lay. I feel like that's a good way to ingrain some useful information, and we're all about knowledge over here.
That's what it's all about. Also, thank everyone on YouTube for waiting for us to arrive. It's nice. It's a nice entrance into the stream. Get some interaction before we even start. It's cool.
Yeah. Just for those of you who tuned in early, we do apologize for technical difficulty. We had both been logged in, and you may not know this, but Coders and I live in multiple time zones. Not simultaneously, but individually. So we had a small issue with YouTube Studio when planning it out last night. So we are talking about lying. Like I said, we were talking about dishonesty here. So is it lying to break a rule?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I can dig it.
Especially if you're straight up about it. Some people break the rules and they could care less if anyone knows, but they're not lying about. Like they're just doing their thing.
If the standard in an event is to break a rule, in that more players are doing it than are not, and no, I'll be more generous here. Every single individual in the competition is doing it, and they all know everyone's doing it. Are you still lying?
I think in that instance, yes. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't give you an excuse to cheat or, take advantage of a manipulated system. But that's if you have the sport in heart, or whatever it is you're doing.
Well, let's say you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, where champion players are well known as being champion cheaters. Let's talk about the underdog who literally, you either quit the game or you find a way to either out-cheat or be immune to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
The latter of which is heavily conditional on how the individual is cheating, We've got Billy Brake, who is publicly known as a cheater, and yet he's a celebrity duelist who wins major tournaments. Let's look at that's for Yu-Gi-Oh players, by the way.
Yeah, we're name dropping. Big whoop.
Oh yeah, just looking out of the camera. Billy Brake is a cheater, and everyone in the community just loves to support the guy. Like, the community actually says, after he got caught cheating, the community actually came out and defended him.
You hate to see it.
So, Blake, that's one thing I did, just anecdotally here. in Yu-Gi-Oh, I actually got penalized for outplaying the system when everyone was cheating, um, by making a deck. I'm not sure who knows about Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's two decks facing each other. I actually went out and made a deck that won on the first turn, so the opponent couldn't cheat at all. And it was like some stupid math that used Witch Doctor Sparta and Substitute. And
Yeah, I remember Rufus pulled that deck out on me one time.
oh
That
man,
was interesting. Was it the reverse burn one?
uh, it I wouldn't say reverse. You just summon
What?
16 frogs from your deck and win. So
GG's.
yeah. Um, before the opponent has drawn their first card, so they couldn't do anything at the time. There were no hand traps even back then, except for
Yep.
the only card that could stop this combo back then was Herald of Orange Light.
Okay. I've seen that card used a little bit.
Yeah. Fairy decks. But anyways, that was just I actually did really well at that event. And my opponent in the finals got very upset that I had beat him, because there was a deck called Teledad that was really popular and famous at the time. He got
Oh yeah.
so mad that it was an actual table flip. Um, and when the event staff came to, they all knew him, right? They all knew this guy.
Mhm.
Like he was what you would call a celebrity player. And so they I got a 3 month suspension while they reviewed the situation, and then someone else came out with some weird I don't know. There was a lot of issues with Substone and Fishborg Blaster at the time. Um,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
those two cards got banned, and I got reinstated, and that was I got like a compensation to a degree too, because I made a fuss about it the first time it happened.
I mean,
But
you
yeah,
should though.
that's what happens when you try to outplay cheating. So I
Well, imagine cheating and still losing.
yeah, I'd be so angry I might flip a table.
Yeah. You put
But see, that's
everything.
the
You all your.
situation. If you're cheating, you feel like everyone else is cheating too.
Mhm.
That's just it.
Your guilty
It's the
conscience.
victimization thing. Well, no, it's just how could someone be playing at this level if they're not playing on my level?
Mm.
There are a lot of ways that you can say that cheating is just another skill, right? So I've heard a few defenses for cheating in competitive events. Let's say you have rules in an event. Uh, those rules just act like another layer of the competition. Everyone knows the rules. Everyone's familiar with the rules. Everyone knows that those rules exist, right? Like we
Right.
all agree. Uh, is it not the responsibility of your opponent to catch you cheating, or the event staff to catch you cheating?
Oh, that's why they're there for sure. The event staff, at least. I think it's more
Right.
of a moral thing, I guess. You know.
Well, we had the morals of it and stuff, but I just heard people justifying it like, I didn't get caught, so you're just hating. Like, you're just mad that I didn't get caught cheating. I've had people very openly and proudly announce that they were cheating. Um, I mentioned Billy Brake earlier. He announced on a stream, like live, that he had cheated. Um, like there was like no doubt that he had cheated. So, but one of the defenses I heard there was it's not like he got caught and his opponent was okay with it. So his opponent was his little girlfriend.
Well, I wonder why she was okay with it.
Yeah. It's like, what, dude? Come on, guys. Like the cheat was she beat him and then gave him the win after the match, which would propel him forward in the event, and he ended up winning the event. So that's what
Well,
YC. Yeah. And some other
interesting.
talking Yu-Gi-Oh here. This happens in outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, but this is the only thing I can really talk on because I've got the experience. I was judging YCS Dallas uh, the year that Billy Brick won with the 60 card deck, um, and I saw him cheat. I told the team judge. Team judge flat out said, "That's Billy Brake. We can't really do anything about that." I'm sorry, I shouldn't do the impression. That's what he sounded like. He was. I what I do. The team judge. It's very hard to just keep my voice and say the team judge said. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all good.
But yeah, and then I went to the head judge table to report it, and I was basically told that I was reporting to the wrong channel. I'm like, why do we even have table judges if you're going to just protect people who are cheating? Like, they're all friends with these cheaters, and that's what sucks. Is the judge community is a very tight knit society,
Yeah.
where the famous judges are friends with the famous players. That segues really nicely into politics, doesn't it?
Oh ho ho! Is there a
Yes.
correlation there? Higher up
Yes.
people all shaking hands with each other.
The wealthy and the powerful know each other, go to each other's houses, you know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and do favors for each other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the wealthy will give money to the powerful, so the powerful will give power to the wealthy, and it's just a cycle. And why should it
Mm-hmm.
exist any other way? Again, it's a moral thing. You actually answered the question earlier, which is why I like that parallel. So,
It's pretty.
yeah, basically, the people who are supposed to be observing and monitoring the rule breaking are in tight with the people who are breaking the rules. Um, that's the political thing there. Let's talk about invisible barriers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes lying is one thing and cheating is the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hey, Katybug B01.
Hello, hello, hello.
But yeah,
Welcome.
sometimes, sorry, for the podcast listeners, someone in chat just said, hi, y'all. Hi, y'all. But sometimes we have the um, lost my train of thought. Thanks, Katybug. Sometimes we have, oh
Invisible.
yeah, invisible barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the rules have no reason to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just in games, but in general. How do you feel about breaking those rules? Rules that literally serve no purpose.
Uh, I'm sure we all do that a little bit, honestly. I'm not sure. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I do break some rules myself.
Well, yeah, like smoking weed. Isn't that illegal for you?
It may or may not be.
Good answer.
I can't answer that question.
That's why I stuttered as I answered. Like, uh.
Wait.
But if it was illegal for you, would you do it?
Mm, yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
for sure.
Wink, wink. um, and that's just how it is. You know, it's a victimless crime.
Hmm.
So why is it there? Well,
Why
because
is it there?
who gets hurt by it?
No one at all, except
Lumber
for maybe,
industry, big tobacco.
yeah, maybe the pharmaceutical takes a little hit.
Yeah, pharmaceutical industry. But I'm doing it. It's bettering me. See, you say that it's hurting the pharmaceutical industry, right? That's what they say. But they don't
Hmm.
have my money from the get go, right? It's not like I'm stealing from them. I'm just not paying
Hmm.
them any longer because they're not making products that appeal to me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I definitely agree there. I think marijuana can stop a few of those medications that they hand out quite a
right.
bit.
But we have to follow these laws.
Hmm.
Um, in some views, some people in Christianity believe that smoking and drinking, and not just Christianity, but I can only speak from the perspective of Christianity because that's um, my personal. I keep
Yeah,
rubbing my
yeah.
eyeliner into my eyes and it hurts. Sorry, give me a second. All right, sorry, I was waking up and I fell asleep with my eyeliner on. Guyliner, as some say. But anyways, um, so churches make these rules, right? Uh, Even if they're not biblically referenced, but they call smoking and alcoholism and things like that witchcraft, um,
Hmm.
and say that partaking is worshiping the devil, and that's a lot of fun to just be told whatever you're doing is devil worship. Just nothing says, man, I need to go into a church like you've been worshiping the devil this whole time.
Oh,
What a
really?
twist!
If it wasn't so blatantly obvious.
Anyway, let me finish this joint and I'll come and talk to you about that. But yeah. Hold on, let me see what the devil has to say about this.
Oh man.
But no, like the big church rules like no homo.
Mm-hmm.
Like churches are the progenitor of the classic no homo. Because they would tell people not to come into the church if they were gay. And I'm like, man, like it's almost like all that other good stuff that y'all teach has no purpose if you like dudes and are a dude. Or like
Yeah.
women and are women.
The thing that it just confuses me the most is because Christianity is about loving your neighbor, and loving everyone unconditionally. That's like the whole one of the big things. And then
It's a little skewed. It's not really
yeah.
love everyone
Well, it's also
unconditionally.
been changed a lot throughout history, which opened some eyes too.
Well, yeah.
Things get redone by different kings and such, and then it gets weird.
Well, hold on, we're not talking about the history of theology here. We're just talking about the rules and
I'm just
why do people actually have the authority to make rules? That's because they have the authority to kill you if you don't. They have the power. Sorry, rules are backed up by people who have the power to enforce them. So if you get basically getting organized is the way to enforce rules. You get a bunch of people and you just trickle down the benefits. Like, okay, so we'll have the most money. We'll give this guy some of the money, and then the guys underneath him a little less of the money, and so forward downwards, right? And everyone's just supposed to accept that. Like, why are we still following a piece of paper in the United States that was written, 200 years ago?
And a lot of things have changed in that time.
Yep. We're bordering 250 at this point. I'm not sure. I'm not doing the math. I just don't feel like it right now.
It's old. But do we want people who are not necessarily the best people to be writing such a document that are in power right now?
Well, no, I'm just talking about the people who wrote it in 1776. Well, I guess wrote the I'm talking about the Constitution and the Founding Fathers, guys. I hear people say, but the Founding Fathers said, I'm like, the Founding Fathers didn't have internet. The Founding Fathers didn't even have AC. Like, the Founding Fathers were lacking in a lot of things, people, that we take for granted today. They didn't have knowledge on psychology. They didn't have any of that. As education, I think the Constitution should have had an errata clause where every, 50 years you errata it to keep up with modern times, write it in
You're
modern
saying that they're not completely
verbiage.
right all the time?
What's that?
You're saying our founding fathers weren't 100% correct? And they didn't know everything at that time?
Yeah, I'm saying that. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the problem
They didn't even know
is,
about their fellow man enough. Like, come on.
Yeah. The problem is, like, the people who made the rules died before the person died who would be your great great grandfather. Like, it's just like, there's like, we're separated by 16 generations? Probably less than that. But
less, yeah. Weird.
It's dumb and stupid to fall for patriotism. It's fine to love your country, right? That aspect of patriotism is perfectly fine. But why do you love a country? It's just the place that you live, right? Like,
right.
This love your country, that's beaten into us. And I am proud to be an American. I really am. But people here kind of suck. Not you,
Sometimes they
Putters.
do, yes.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Yeah. Hey
Finding you
you,
guys in.
hey you, you're cool. And of course,
If only we could say, well,
all the people in chat, y'all are cool too. Yeah, it's like
yeah, you guys are cool. And on
uh,
Spotify, you guys are cool too. We like you.
yeah. Even if you're not in America, we're like, yeah, that guy's cool. But
You're probably cooler because you're not from America. Yeah.
well, from the U.S., we have some Canadians here too, and everyone knows that the Canada and Mexico and all that are America as well.
I always forget that when I say
Yeah.
America. I always forget that's a part of Canada as well.
America is the continent. The USA is the country.
Yes, yes.
So why is it that like all these rules are still in effect, and it's so hard to change them? Like I should not be hearing someone say, "No, it was in the Constitution that we should do that." I'm like, guys, get with the times here, you know.
Yeah.
Like, do you know that the Electoral College was not in the Constitution? Like, the Electoral College was founded because politicians, shortly after everything was done, thought that people would be too stupid to vote. Literally, they thought that we would be too stupid. The average man would something about the average man incapable of carrying that burden. So we have electors now who are, I guess, uh, further beyond the average man. Pairing up to super voter here.
Yeah, I think the Electoral College is one of the stupidest things. I remember being in school and they explained it to us, and I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean?
Hello, I can't read that. Rondell Eshelman. Welcome
I
to the
think that
chat.
is that's one of my friends actually. Hello guys.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome to the stream. But so yeah, the Electoral College. You got when you look at something and a rule has favored one side every time that has been advantageous. That is to say that every time a Republican has won, so every time that any candidate has won without having a popular vote, it's benefit the Republican. I believe that is accurate. This is a situation where I'm encouraging the listener to look that up and fact check me on that, but I believe that is the case. That
It was the case most recently.
oh yes, it was Donald Trump. But then again, both. That's the other issue is neither party had a candidate that represented the values therein.
Yeah.
Neither party had a candidate that they deserved. And I'm not a Bernie bro either. Like I would have voted for Bernie, and I voted for Hillary, but that's not because of party allegiances. It's just because Hillary was better than Trump. Looks at the camera,
politics wise, especially.
Yeah. It's like she. It's like if you're taking a job like I'm nonpartisan, but if you're looking at a job application, lived in the White House for 8 years, became a senator, was a judge, knows how things actually work, won't sit there and be like, what? I can't do that? Oh, like, what? Come on, guys. I don't care what job you're, like, if I'm hiring at a McDonald's, right, and someone comes in, and they've worked at Subway for 5 years, I'm going to hire that person over someone who just got done being a plumber, doesn't have their serve safe, doesn't have their, qualified versus unqualified. It's true for every industry. It's just people in the blue felt disenfranchised that they didn't get some people didn't get the person they wanted, so they didn't go and vote. Good job, guys. You made things really easy for Bernie by putting Trump in the executive seat. That really served the purpose. But anyways, going back to how that ties into rules, that's just showing a failure of the initial founding fathers. And we do talk about politics a lot here, folks. But if you want to change the subject, you tell us your rule breaks in the comments, and we will jump over to that too. Jaywalking, right? Let's say there's no cars coming. You can see there are no cars coming. you are in your state of mind where you're like, I can safely cross this road, right? Like no cars, like
Right.
not just one really far away, but zero cars, right? Why can't I jaywalk? In Texas, jaywalking, well, I guess where I'm at, jaywalking is not illegal. You can cross anywhere you want, but if you get run over outside of a crosswalk, you're responsible for the damage to the vehicle that ran you over, which just sounds like a hilarious scenario.
Like, how many did you get up and I'm gonna need your insurance information, guy.
Yeah, like, dude, you hit my car with your body. Yeah, it's
Leg
like,
broken, like.
yeah, it's like, you're screaming, dude, calm down. Give me some money. Before the hospital
Offenders
bill
all
comes
messed up.
in.
Oh, that's something else. I don't know what the
So
what the
good.
jaywalking rules are in Pennsylvania.
Dude, you're
I haven't
telling
really
me
looked
you
into it yet.
live in a place and you don't know all 1,000 plus laws of your land?
I
What?
guess I'm telling you that. Sadly, that's the truth.
Wait, you're gonna sit here and tell me that nowhere in school did you ever have a class that taught you the laws of your local jurisdiction?
Why? Of course not.
Huh. But wait, did you have a class where a bunch of people had to like walk around in a circle all day and they called it uh, recreational gym
Now we didn't
class,
have.
if you
We
will,
had the. Yes, we did have something like that.
but no
Played
class where
kickball.
you talked about like law? Like,
No, 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 no.
huh?
Hmm.
Imagine that.
Strange.
Anyways,
That's a video for another day, though.
yeah, no running. That's a rule that I dislike. Like, it gets me there faster. Why are you being mean to me? I want to run. I want to break free. But like, it's so weird. Like, you know, I can get hurt
Hmm.
while walking too. Watch me
Right.
try. Up there goes. But like uh, obviously by a pool, you're running, you trip, you bonk your head. For some reason, you roll over into the pool, and now you're drowning. Like, I've gotten
Probably
myself
better
in
not to run
quite
there.
the. What's that?
It's probably best not to run then.
Like, it'd be weird to like roll over, like to trip, hit your head, be in a state where you can't swim, then roll over.
Yeah, Robert's right there. We did have a
But
class like
the
where we
government
taught
doesn't
about the
teach you.
government a
Yeah,
little bit.
that basically. We are told to conform at a very young age, and I get that conformity keeps things going, and I get that integration is a very important part of society. The problem is some of these things create invisible walls and barriers that stop progress. Um, so I understand why we have laws are here to protect us. The problem is the existence of laws that are here to protect us justifies the existence of laws that are here to protect the wealthy and the powerful and to keep that group as exclusive as possible. Because the wealthy and the powerful don't want more wealthy and powerful, especially a new generational thing. They pass down their
Oh yeah.
knowledge and values to the next generation. But if someone new comes in, they tend to come in with new values and new concepts. It's a really hard cycle to change because belonging to the cycle is the problem. So,
Yeah.
like, obviously, if I became a billionaire, I would have my values still. But with my children, things like that. Um,
Yeah.
and then when you have power, you get upset when you can't do what you want. When you have to follow the rules, and so you could definitely see the views of someone who has not had to follow the rules, i.e., Trump, getting upset now that he does. What do you mean I can't say this? What do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean I can't? The guy has never been told can't in his life, and now he's being told can't. That's disastrous. That's what rules are. Those are rules that I can justify. Yes, I like that the
Mm.
president can't drop a nuke on China. without Congress being like, yeah, okay, yeah, fuck China. No, I don't know which politician that was, but I'm just gonna say that was Jim Jordan.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, just a wonderful guy. I hear he likes to hear stories about students being raped. Sorry, sexually assaulted. Ugh. But
Yeah,
yes,
we got some interesting stuff coming in America soon.
well,
It's already kind of happening, but
if
I
there
think
is
it's
a
gonna
blue
be.
wave or if there is a red wave, things will get back in order. The problem is when you have different tiers of the government competing with each other, our government does not work with a party system. Just does not work with a party
Yeah.
system. Um, Democracy fails with a two-party system because it's a them versus us circumstances. You have to make
Mm-hmm.
bills and you have to tack on unrelated concessions to a bill in sort of like a haggling process. It's like, all right, you want healthcare? All right, we're going to tag on no abortions. Unrelated. Just,
Yep.
it's like, stop that.
They do that a lot, man. Like that,
Almost
it's like
every
headlines
bill.
with a certain thing. It's a headline with a certain thing, but then if you read into it, it's a bunch of little things also in there.
Yep.
I saw something with the marijuana bill they tried to slyly pass through.
I wish they would stop
I can't
making
remember
it
exactly what
like
it was,
written in
but
old English too. Like just write it somewhere that a
yeah,
student could understand it. Like tell
yeah,
us
make
what
it
the
so that
law is.
anyone can read it publicly and be able to process it normally and not have to like get it broken down by someone.
Right. I know we talk about Trump supporters being ignorant, but really, it's a lot of it is being uneducated, and a lot of it is the
Hmm.
information is not even written in common English. Like,
You can show me some of those things, and I'll look at it, had to read it 5 times, and still have no idea what it's trying to say
well,
because they bounce around and they're trying to
they do that on
use like
purpose.
you know.
It's so the average
Yeah.
person not only can't read it, but has no interest in trying. Um,
Right.
you know,
The same with like lawyers and stuff too when they do all these contracts.
well, that'd be fun
You
to
know,
go through and like
so,
take every bill that's gone through
mhm.
Congress for a day, um, and Senate,
Translate it.
and translate it for the common reader, like everything, just 100%. Like have it on the right, and then
You could
just
probably get monetized doing stuff like that. Honestly,
what's that?
like you could probably get monetized doing stuff like that. Like people will pay you to translate bills for people so they can understand
Well,
what's
you have to have
happening.
trust there. You have to trust us to be
Yeah,
doing it right,
exactly.
and that's the other thing is now there's no trust because the media, whose job is to keep politicians accountable, well, now politicians are attacking the media back. And I say
Hmm.
politicians, but you all know who I'm talking about. Um,
Right,
like you didn't hear Obama complaining about Fox because Obama knew
right. You just did it
that the
like.
rules are there to
Mhm.
have the media protecting people, that they're allowed to report on his tan suit and his lack of a bike helmet all they want, you know, um,
Right.
because they're doing their job, and it's supposed to keep the politicians on the up and up. But when you decide you don't want to be on the up and up, when you're breaking the rules, everyone else is the bad guy, right? So
Okay.
that's what we deal with. It's like that in hobby gaming too. When you're the one breaking the rules, everyone else is the bad guy. Um, if you lose, you're going like, you cheated. There's no way you didn't cheat. Why is that? Because I'm good. I'm really good. I'm such a good player. I play well.
The best player
Yeah,
ever.
I
They
can't
say.
lose. Like, but why can't you lose? I'm good. Oh, okay. I'm good too. Not as good as me. Like, it's so dumb. Like the arguments I hear. Like, just say it. You cheated. I know because I cheated. Oh, yeah, that makes
His.
sense. And people aren't just like bold enough to just like go for the big cheat, like the big rule breaks. You know, it's like if you're cheating, just be amazing at it. Yu-Gi-Oh,
Mhm.
just top deck Exodia every time.
Always. Wait, what are they gonna say?
Let's see. What about wasting millions and millions trying to get Trump impeached, but spend 3 years to find nothing? Uh
That's not really necessarily true.
oh. So the issue there is that the people in Congress and Senate did not do their responsibility. We the people are supposed to have access to all the information and all the facts in that scenario. By voting against seeing witness and by voting against allowing new evidence to be introduced, we have effectively. And by the way, folks in Spotify, I'm responding to a chatter. The question was, what about wasting millions and millions trying to get Trump impeached, but spend 3 years to find nothing? It's not that nothing was found; it's that nothing was done about what was found. Like, it can't be satisfied because the people who are required to stand up and satisfy that are on the side of Trump. That's another reason that we need to get rid of parties, a party system. Get rid of the party system,
Yeah.
because having a party system means about half of everyone is going to be on one guy's side. And then you have that two-third vote for... sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying you're fighting to keep one person in power because they're on your team.
Yeah.
Like, quote unquote.
It's like you need 2/3 votes for some of these things that you can never get. The only time that you can get it is... But if the evidence isn't produced for the people, then there's no reason for people on either side, on the president's side, to vote for impeachment. So think about it like this. Mm-hmm. You have all these people who are red and all these people who are blue. The red people get to vote get to vote on if he's guilty or not, and then the people who watch it, like us as citizens, that can affect our ability to want to vote to keep these people who are red in power or not. So if we don't get the information, right, that is to say, if we don't see these witness testimonies, we don't get to see the things that are there that clearly exist, and the president says, no, these people can't testify, that's illegal, I don't want them to testify, then you have a situation where that system falls apart. I have not gotten the information. Trump supporters have not gotten that information, right? So the line never gets crossed. We never get to see the information, so the people have no reason to vote to impeach Trump. Well, I guess vote to oust him.
Right.
So Trump should have been impeached. He should have been impeached. He's incompetent. He was impeached. Trump was impeached, successfully impeached. He should have been outed. Sorry, from office, in my opinion. So you want to talk about wasting tax dollars? I say we don't pay senators that don't do their job, and that is to say, make sure that they are serving the people and not serving themselves.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
a lot of things. They do things they sign things just for cutbacks to them, and it's a broken system, man. But how do you fix something that's so broken? Is it fixable?
How do you feel about mail-in voting? I can't wait to vote 10 times. How about you, Coders? How many times are you going to vote?
I'm just going to keep on sending them.
Yeah, I'm like, man, just keep giving me these ballots. I'm definitely... Man, Joe Biden definitely cannot lose with my 10 votes, in your 10 votes. How do you feel about mail-in voting is the real question there. See, I
don't know how that whole situation's gonna go. Honestly, it's gonna be people from both sides trying to fight about it.
Having no party, I'm for it. That just means I don't have to go to a poll every year. Like, I hate that we live in a situation with technology that is this powerful. Mm-hmm. I get they can't do it electronically, but doing it via mail, like, come on, guys. That's 35 years ago viable, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have done this simply and securely in the 80s, because people have identification numbers. You know, we have voter ID.
There can be a fraud. It can be corrupt regardless. It can be corrupt if we go there and vote, or whether we mail it in. If it's corrupt, it's corrupt. We can't do anything about that.
Right. If you're going to break the rules, you're going to break the rules.
Yeah, this voting machines were supposedly not letting you vote properly before in the past.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. Obviously I can't say anything because it wasn't me. but there's always going to be corruptness if there is
Here's the benefit
corruptness there.
of a mail-in ballot. It's got the vote, it's got the voter ID on it, and it cannot be changed without being destroyed. Yeah, they already have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
recount multiple
It's
times.
already
So
it's already weird. Like the whole thing's weird as it is.
honestly, I think that mail-in ballots are more effective than going to the polls. But here's what happens with going to the polls and why people like it. There's something called gerrymandering, where districts are chopped up to favor. This is how someone like it's just it's awful. And people say that
It's rigged.
yeah, people say
Almost,
that electoral colleges make things fair, but really what that does is give a farmer more power over everyone who lives in a city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
It doesn't make things equal. It just makes things unbalanced in a different way, and people don't perceive that the same. They think that, well, because this is an area that's occupied by X people, they're like that's saying that the vote of an area should outweigh a vote of people, which isn't right. Like, like if you live on 50 acres, that means obviously, obviously the wealthy live further apart from each other. Farmers live further apart from each other.
They want to have more space.
Yeah, they get more space. Yeah. So their district could be the same size as someone else's district. You're basically benefiting the wealthy and the and farmers. That's literally it. The two people you're benefiting are the wealthy and in rural America. That's where like for rural.
Exactly, and we don't have to state things for you to see what that means. People in the cities who are getting less representation, etc. You can kind of connect the dots.
Yeah. People living on top of each other in cities, and the people who write these, who do these gerrymandering, which is again awful, make it where that's basically you can separate a black neighborhood, so that all the black people get one vote, right? And then make 10 districts.
Yep.
By mixing that up, it's nonsense.
It's almost like changing times with not changing times, but saying that you are.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like gerrymandering should be illegal. I think that at the worst case scenario, it should be every person gets one vote. Like we are so far in the future now that it should be one vote per person. Again, technology has come so far that we all have information at our fingertips. Let's see.
Democracy is all about voting and the most popular vote winning. So why would it not be like that for when we vote? I get what Robert's saying.
Yes, right now I think it's like that, so it's easier to rig. Because when technology caught up to us, that was the intention of the electoral college just mentioned earlier was to because the average voter would not be able to have enough information to make an educated vote. Basically, we were all dumb, so we could. Yeah, now everyone has the entirety of human knowledge in their pockets.
I'd say it's a little different now,
and it's easy. Like, not only do they have the entirety of human knowledge in their pockets, but it's very easily searched. You don't have to flip through an index and hope you find the right thing. There doesn't need to be an errata every day. It's like it's every year. It is accurate and up to date.
I could pick up my phone and ask it about something. Ask it for a recipe about anything that you want to make in the world, and it'll give it to me right there in the snap of my finger.
Yeah, and that's going to help.
So I say we're educated enough to make our own decisions.
Yeah,
we can definitely make our own decision at this point and as a human,
Yeah, all the humans.
All right, but I mean, we gotta voice our opinions though as the people. Call your local places and tell them
call your local congressman and tell them you do not want gerrymandering if that's what you feel. Tell them you want it if that's how you feel.
We all collectively, if we can come together, that's how you see real change.
Well, here's the thing: it only benefits conservatives because conservatives have the money and conservatives have the land, and so that means that it's going to be cyclical. The fact that it only benefits and the conservatives say it: if mail-in voting is a thing, then we'll never win an election. You've heard them say this. It's just that more people do not want conservative values. So whichever party is a conservative party, be it Democrats or Republicans, which have switched over time, has to understand that they're in a race against time because conservative party is always going to be the dying party. Like, people don't.
The older you get, the more conservative you get too, and that's probably why there
Right.
not as many of them today.
Right.
You know?
They die off, and they go to that farm in
But
the sky where they're
I think
running
there's
around
good
playing with
views
other
from each
old
side.
people. What's that?
I think that there's good values from each side. That's why I think there should be a partyless thing. It should just be like what you believe in yourself. It shouldn't matter what side you're on. Like, I like this, this, and this. I'm against this, this, and this. What do you think about me? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's what it should be about, not whose team you're on.
And
It's just breaking us down even more. Like,
it's
I
like,
never understood politics, even when I was a kid.
yeah,
I guess I just thought it was stupid.
it's like Thomas Edison said when he was writing that first rock ballad. Fight the man. No, I'm kidding.
Fight the man. That's a callback to
Yeah, I
the
was
first
saying,
episode, not the first episode.
watch the Power of Music episode
One
if
of
you
the
don't get
first.
that, guys. That's our favorite one, I think.
Oh yeah, we're still planning on something with that one.
Thomas Edison,
That's our
father of
life's
modern
work right
rock.
there.
But yes,
Jack Black, we need you.
everyone, point your rings towards the sky and just say Jack Black.
We need you.
So we have the people who are in power get to make these rules, and the rules themselves are corruption, and that's what that long 30-minute segue was for.
Mhm.
Can you really cheat if you're the one who makes the rules?
Mhm. Sorry, repeat that. I was reading
Yeah, we
Robert's
too.
response here, and I like it.
Um,
You're head on. Honestly, we're just bickering back and forth, and nothing really gets done because we're just reverting things that are getting done by past people
well,
and
see,
making no progress.
being aware of things makes it possible to ask the right questions. If we're aware of this, then why does it exist? And that's all distraction politics at this point.
Oh yeah,
If you can blame one
that's why all the
side,
memes are
then
floating
you
around
can
right now.
feel good about your country still, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I didn't do this; they did this. So
Right.
there's that. Just so you know, I've literally brought the entire conversation full circle to here when I was talking about the inbred patriotism, not inbred, instilled patriotism. Having to say
That
the
sounded
national
wrong,
anthem
but I
in
got what you're
schools,
saying.
or let's say in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
Why?
Mhm.
Like, I think if you say the Pledge of Allegiance one time, that's good enough. Don't say it every
I
day.
think the Pledge of Allegiance, if we're talking about being a sheep and communism and all this stuff, but we're pledging allegiance to a flag every morning. I mean, come on.
I got suspended because I didn't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance because I wanted to sleep
I
in
used
my
to sit
first
down.
period class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go to sleep in
Mhm.
my first period class. I got suspended. Thank you for the days off.
They never said anything to us.
Whew. Texas, though.
I think around that time was when people were saying that they weren't gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance until everyone was free, and you know what I mean, like everyone could be equal. So around that time, if we were sitting down, they didn't say anything because they they were worried about getting put in the hot seat.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start pushing the Futurist Party. I want to be the first international political party. Basically, progress for the sake of progress. The party of progress. I think I'll start pushing that in our videos in the future.
Mhm.
Get on board, join the Futurist Party. Let's make a change.
It's a party that's partyless. Ooh.
Every day, 5 days a week, just every day. You pledge to it every day in America. You pledge allegiance to the flag. That is 1 minute of education lost per day. So, let's say you're in school, 9 months out of a year? 10 months out of a year?
Mhm.
I will round that down to 30-day months only to accommodate for our holidays. So 4 weeks. 10 times 4 is 40. 40 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's 200 minutes. You lose 200 minutes a year to the Pledge of Allegiance when you're supposed to be getting an education.
And how many years do you go to school? 12 at least.
Yep. So 12 and 12, That's what 2,400.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2,400 minutes of your
a lot of time.
education lost to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Just pledging allegiance to a flag.
And now we
Think
have
about
people who
that.
get upset because people kneel for the anthem. Like, there's no rule that says
Hmm.
you can't do that. That's a protest.
I think that's the most American thing you can do
Is
is to take a
protest.
kneel when other people are standing.
This
Yeah,
country was founded on a grievance of people who did not want.
yeah.
Yeah, like we wrote a grievance. We were basically the ultimate Karens. Like, hey, England, I'd like to speak to the manager. Um, it was like the old. Actually,
That's a
no.
good
You
T-shirt
know,
right
if I
there.
were to do it, it's like the ultimate amalgam of Karens meets rebels. Like, first the Karens wrote the grievance, and then the rebels were like, "Nah, y'all don't accept this. I guess we're gonna murder you. We're gonna kill you. Yeah, do it." And then they shook hands, and they
Isn't it
never
ironic
spoke
that
to each other since. The Karens
I
and the
find it ironic that we left the whole like being controlled by the Britons and we came and controlled a different type of people, like the Native Americans and enslaved. Like like we did the exact thing we tried to
well, that's
get away
because
from.
people didn't think of them as people. It was different times.
Hmm.
People back then were
Exactly.
really, 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 really stupid and ignorant. That's the bad combination. Being
Oh yeah.
stupid and ignorant, that means you have no knowledge and you don't want knowledge. So, you don't have the capacity to understand because people didn't have. But should modern day people be held accountable for the actions of their predecessors based on skin color?
So that's a good one because that's relevant right now.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people throwing hate at each other just because of skin color, and it's like, guys,
right.
guys, guys,
I,
that's what they want us to do right now, and we need to not do that.
I wish white people would
We
just
need to do the
stop being
opposite of that.
racist. Like, stop it, guys. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
honestly,
Like,
like no one likes it, dude. We're done.
like, the rules have changed. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Used to be you go hang a black guy and day after go to church. Nowadays, that's illegal, guys. You know, that paper that you worship, the Constitution, says you can't. Says law of the land, guys. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Like,
Man.
just the ultimate pathetic rule break. White supremacy. I could talk about this every episode. Like,
Honestly.
like stop killing Native Americans. Done. Easy. We don't do that anymore. I just realized,
Yeah.
like relatively no one goes out and just like oppresses Asians in America. Now we have that.
Yeah, they found a way. The old China virus, apparently.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like now, and I know that's supposed to be Chinese, but come on, these people aren't going. Wait, what country? If you're ignorant enough to fall for that, you're not thinking, all right, how can I tell the difference between a Japanese and a Chinese? I don't know. Let's just hate them all. That's what's going on. It's like hate everything, hate everyone, be stupid, and
I never learn to not be.
yes. But anyways, last little topic here. What about relationships and social? No, actually, let's just start with social rules. What about rules that are implied by society as a whole? You know,
Mhm.
you can only have one partner. Orgies bad, drugs bad. Um, like sex is sacred, things like that. Like, there's no law that says you can't just go out and have sex with someone who consents, right? Um,
Mhm.
but like, people associate that with breaking some taboo, uh, and I'm not even talking about a married individual. I know I said cheating. Like, you're breaking a social rule. Like, a norm is a social rule. You may even hide that from society, like shamefully. Like, oh yeah, sometimes I go out, dress up like a leather daddy, and let someone beat me up. But aside from that, things with me and Jan have been great. No, um, like, it's these taboos are invisible barriers. Like, we let our view of how society views us. Double extroverted Sunday there. Sorry, double introvert Sunday there. Let us make rules for ourselves that limit our ability to enjoy life to its fullest. Um,
Mm.
is that accept? I mean, is it okay to break those rules? Is it okay to consistently break the rules of a society um, if there's no consequences for those rules and you didn't consent to letting those rules be made for you? Like
Oh yeah,
taboos, yeah.
man. I think we have so many people now who are breaking out, and they're like, you know what? I'm tired of not being able to be who I am. You know,
Yeah.
we need that. Like, as long as you're not doing something that's harmful to others, as long as what you're doing is safe to you and those around you, then obviously
mm-hmm.
stand up for that. Like, be you. Who cares about anyone else? That's what I've learned the most in my life, man. Like, as long as the less you worry about what other people think of you, the more you'll enjoy your life and be able to be yourself.
I will say this for a fun one. In Texas, it's still illegal and like enforced. Like not one of those random laws. It's illegal to sell sexual toys, marital aids, if you will. If you want to buy what's commonly known as a dildo, the store calls it a cake topper. Like everything has to have a different name. They have to be called
Oh,
actual
that's like buying
toys. What's up?
that's like buying a pipe. That's like buying a pipe in a state where you can't get marijuana. You can't go in there and call it a bowl or a bong. You have to go in and say, hey, can I get a water pipe or or just a glass pipe? But
Right.
if you go in there and say bowl, they're like, yeah, you have to leave, sir.
Yep.
I'm like, really, man? Because the slang I use to describe what this is, I can't have it.
Well, because you could be a
Excuse me.
cop. Like,
Yeah, but I
imagine
can
how
just send my friend
bored
in
you have
because
to
I
be
said
as a
something
cop
wrong
to
and
be
he'll just
like,
go
all
do it
right,
too.
I'm gonna be like, oh, we've been watching To Catch a Predator a lot lately together. Like, that's
It's my
good.
show, man.
Like, imagine how bored you have to be as a cop to go into a hookah shop and be like, "Can I get a pipe for smoking marijuana?" Talking into your nipple where your
Like, how you
wire
gonna
is.
bust?
Like,
That's how they got Tommy Chong. They didn't even arrest him for having weed. They had a FBI agent go in and buy a bong from him because you know him. They're like, hey, can I get a bong? He's like, yeah, sure, man. He said that his other employees had shirts that said FBI on them, and they were standing next to the guy trying to let him know, like, hey, this guy's he's an agent. Don't sell to him. And he said, nah, man, I didn't even notice, dude. I just sold him that shit right away.
shirt says nice.
And he goes to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's
Why don't they
you have to
just
listen to
say
him
this
tell the
guy's an
story. It's just
FBI
amazing.
agent? Like, just say the words. Hey, that guy's an FBI. There's nothing illegal
But I think they were trying to.
about
Anyway,
revealing someone is a narc.
yeah,
Like,
especially when your boss is Tommy Chong.
is it illegal to say, "Hey, this guy's a cop"? Like,
Right. Yeah, it's your free. You're allowed to just say that. It's your free will.
anyways, um, everyone,
No, we're
as
at that
usual, I like to end
minute
this
mark.
episode telling you to educate yourselves. Today, I'd like to say, go out and educate yourselves on lying and cheating, the benefits of staying integral to yourself and the people around you. You want to live a drama-free life? Don't lie, don't cheat, unless it's Monopoly. You have anything to add, coders?
Nah, just educate yourself, folks. That's all I gotta say.
Right on. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have another topic for you. Same bat time, same bat place. This has been Solember and Coders178. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Ah.